If you've been thinking about buying a home in Scottsdale, Phoenix, Chandler, Gilbert, Queen Creek, or anywhere in Maricopa County, you've probably seen the headlines that Arizona is running out of water. Developers can't build homes. Phoenix is facing a water crisis. And if you're considering moving here, I completely understand why that would make you nervous. In fact, one of the most common questions that I get from people relocating to Arizona is, Caitlin, should I be worried about water before I buy a house? And it is a completely fair question. But here's the problem. Most of the information that people are seeing online only tells half the story. And there is a lot to the story. And what I'm about to show you may completely change how you think about Arizona's future. Because the truth is that there is both good news and bad news when it comes to water. And I'm gonna focus more on Maricopa County in general. So the good news is much better than most people really think. The bad news is more complicated than most of the headlines actually explain. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what's happening, where the real risks are, where they're not, and what it means for your home value if you're buying, selling, or investing in Arizona. I'm Caitlin BRONSKY, a Scottsdale real estate expert who's helped families, professionals, and retirees relocate across every corner of the valley. And lately, no topic creates more confusion than water. So let's separate the facts from the fear. So the biggest misconception right now is this. People hear water shortage and they assume that Arizona is running out of water for homeowners. And that is not actually what the current debate is really about. So the real issue isn't whether Scottsdale, Chandler, Gilbert, Phoenix, or Tempe residents are suddenly going to just lose running water. The real issue is whether Arizona can continue to grow at the same pace while guaranteeing enough water for future development over the next 100 years. So those are two really different conversations, and that's where the media often loses people. The good news first. So a lot of things that are existing that are protecting homeowners very much from any type of situation like this. And let's start with what I think is the most important thing. So if you already own a home or you're considering buying a home in an established city, you're extremely unlikely to wake up one morning and find that your water is shut off. And why is that? Well, because Arizona has one of the most sophisticated water management systems in the entire Southwest. Most cities don't rely on a single water source. Instead, they use a combination of water sources. So we have the Colorado River water, which is through the CAP system. We have the Salt River water, the Verde River water, groundwater, recycled and reclaimed water, and then water that's been stored underground for future use. And historically, when shortages occur, Arizona always protects the municipality cities first. Agriculture really absorbs most of the reductions. And let me say that again because it's kind of important. So the biggest water cuts have historically hit agricultural users, not homeowners that are living in Scottsdale, Chandler, Gilbert, Tempe, Glendale, Peoria, or Phoenix. That is a very different picture than the one that many people really imagine. So the second part of the good news is that Arizona has been planning for this for decades. One thing that surprises a lot of people moving here is that Arizona isn't just now discovering all these water challenges. We've been dealing with it for years. And the state has been planning for water scarcity for decades. So Arizona has a long-term water planning requirement. It includes underground water baking programs, millions of acres of water stored underground. There's groundwater recharge projects. There's reclaimed water systems, and then there's a lot of advanced purification investments that they're putting into the state. In other words, state leaders aren't ignoring the issue at all. They're actually actively planning for it, and that's why you see so much news about it. But does that mean that every challenge is going to be solved? No, it's absolutely not. And it's important to understand that this isn't a surprise problem, though. Another good news factor is that established neighborhoods are in a very strong position. So this is especially important if you're thinking about buying real estate. So the areas that tend to have the strongest long-term water position are established communities with mature infrastructure. And those are areas like Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, Arcadia, Central Phoenix, everything that really has already been developed and is not putting in massive acres of homes that they're having issues developing. We're going to include Mesa, Gilbert, Tempe, Ahwatukee, North Phoenix, Peoria, Glendale. These are communities that have already established water portfolios. They have all the infrastructure that they need. They have treatment systems, and they have all the long-term planning in place. So if I were personally buying today, these would be the locations that I would feel absolutely comfortable from a water security perspective. Another good news topic is that Arizona is developing new water sources, and they're continuing to. So it isn't hoping that things are going to just get better and we're going to get more rain and it's going to fill up all of our lakes that are low, but the state is actively investing in things like water recycling, advanced purification, groundwater recharge, reuse water systems, and potential future desalination partnerships as well. And these are not overnight solutions, but they are working on it, and they will continue to create additional long-term stability. So I have to talk about what buyers should be concerned about, and that is because there is challenges with the situation. And if I were being honest, ignoring them would be irresponsible. So the first challenge is that water obviously is becoming a growth issue. So this is probably the biggest takeaway from everything that's happening right now. Arizona regulators have already slowed or restricted certain new developments because the developers couldn't demonstrate a 100-year water supply plan. They couldn't put the infrastructure in. So think about what that means. The issue isn't existing homes. It's the issue is the future growth and some developments that might be delayed, and some communities that may grow more slowly because they're trying to put this infrastructure in. So some projects may never move forward because they can't get it together. And this is the interesting part. This could actually support values in existing neighborhoods because fewer new homes may be entering the market. So it's basically going to become like a supply and demand. Another challenge is that water costs will likely go up. And nobody is saying that your water is going to get shut off, but maintaining long-term water security isn't free. Water recycling is going to cost money. Purification projects are going to cost money. Infrastructure upgrades are going to cost money. And eventually those investments are going to show up in utility bills, and they are starting to see water go up in certain parts of Gilbert as well. And so while I don't expect homeowners to lose water, it could start to become a more expensive utility over time. The third challenge is the Colorado River that is still unfortunately under pressure. The Colorado River, Lake Mead, remains below historical levels, and so does Lake Powell. I have heard that we're supposed to have a really rainy summer this 2026 summer, so hopefully we'll get those levels up. But conditions are actually better now than they have been in the worst years. And we're still far from ideal, but we're not in the worst years. And this means that Arizona remains in the treaty that we have with the other states that are around us. Arizona has actually taken the least amount of water out of the Colorado River. And conditions are better, but we're still far from ideal. And that means that Arizona remains dependent on ongoing negotiations with all the other Western states that are around us. The situation has improved, but the challenge has not disappeared. Another one that is a challenge is that not every growth area has the same risk profile. So this is where buyers need to pay attention. Not all locations carry the same level of risk. Obviously, most of our inner cities don't. So if I were evaluating a brand new subdivision, I would spend some extra time understanding the water situation if the communities are in certain areas. And that's going to be far west of Surprise, far south of Buckeye, far southeast of Queen Creek, and areas that are primarily dependent on groundwater only. So let me be clear, I'm not saying that these are bad investments. I'm just saying that water availability should be part of your due diligence in the same way that you should look into schools or look into taxes or look into HOA fees as well. And water could also influence future appreciation of home values. So this is something that many buyers actually aren't thinking about yet. And so water is now influencing housing approvals, development timelines, regional planning, future growth patterns, and growth patterns that are directly impacting home values. So while some communities may continue growing rapidly, others could experience slower expansion if water becomes harder to secure. Now, that doesn't mean prices decline. It simply means that water is now part of the economic conversation. So here's what I've learned after years of helping people move to Arizona. Most people ask the wrong question. The question is Arizona running out of water? But the better question is, which communities are best positioned for Arizona's water future? These are completely different conversations because water is no longer just a utility issue, it's a growth issue, it's a planning issue, it's a housing issue, and increasingly it's a real estate issue. So if you are considering moving to Scottsdale, Phoenix, Chandler, Gilbert, Paradise Valley, Tempe, or anywhere in Maricopa County, here is my key takeaway. I would not avoid Arizona because of water concerns, but I would absolutely understand the differences between the communities, and I would understand where their water comes from. I would understand what are the future growth plans around these areas, and I would understand how water policy could affect home values over the next decade. The best decisions aren't the ones who react to scary headlines, they're the ones who understand the full story of what is actually going on. And so hopefully today you have a much better understanding of that story, and I would love to hear from you. When you hear about Arizona's water crisis, what is your biggest concern? Leave a comment below because I read every single one. And if you are looking or thinking about moving to Arizona and you want honest information about all the neighborhoods and helping figure out where you can really make this place your own, subscribe and continue to watch some of our additional videos because every week I break down topics that matter most to the people of what is happening in our area. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.